Welcome to the Life Self-Mastery Podcast, where we bring in entrepreneurs who have created online businesses and improved their lifestyles. Here's your host, Rohit Malhotra.
Hi everyone, I'm Rohit from lifeselfmastery.com, and today we have Isabel Berney, who's the founder of Vacayo, a company which will lease and furnish your vacant rental property in under 72 hours. Vacayo is backed by 500 startups. Prior to Vacayo, Isabel had spent 2 years at Genpact, a financial consulting firm. In addition to helping co-found a startup called Thumb, she worked in marketing for Omnicom Media. Isabel is a graduate from Boston University's College of Communication. Welcome to the show, Isabel.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Rohit.
So can you let us know why did you found Vacayo and why do you want to solve this problem now?
I think that more than ever, people all over the world and country are looking for steady passive income streams, especially with, all the uncertainty in the economy, but also with just the incredible rise of the sharing economy and seeing how many opportunities there are outside the box. But real estate, has always been an area of interest of mine. I grew up, my dad was a leasing attorney. All he did all day was review leases. So I grew up just learning about real estate in New York City. And it's just kind of ironic that I became what we call a lease lord. I have many, many leases and helping landlords secure higher income. That's why we're doing it.
Who are your competitors in this segment and how are you different from an Airbnb?
People kind of have the misconception that we're like Airbnb. We're actually a complete partner to Airbnb, what you would call an auxiliary service. We are bringing supply to Airbnb's market, and we partner with Airbnb as well as all the top 15 vacation rental websites. But what we're doing is we're leasing, furnishing, and managing the vacation rentals and then advertising them on the platforms. Our competitors, we don't have many direct competitors, meaning it's only really us and one other brand new company called Wanderjot, 5-month-old company that's furnishing homes. Most of the, when you think of the big short-term property managers like Vacasa and Turnkey, they're not furnishing. So they're actually going after a whole different demographic than us, which is landlords that already have a often long-running vacation rental that they're just having trouble managing, and they're furnished and ready to go. We are targeting landlords that perhaps don't even know much about the short-term rental market and the income that they're missing out on. They might have a vacant property. They might have a property that has long-term tenants that's about to turn over, and they're saying, what are we going to do next? And they're looking to find tenants. So they're advertising on places like Zillow and Craigslist. And that's our biggest focus, is bringing those landlords online and helping them earn high, true passive income.
What are your revenue channels and how much of the revenue have you generated till now?
Our current revenue is 1.3 million. Our revenue channel is simply listing across all the OTAs from booking.com to Airbnb, aggregating that demand. When you look at the difference between what a long-term rental makes and a short-term rentals typically make minimum 50% more income. So what we do is with the 50% margins that we have, we give 10% to the landlord, 10% to what we call our Superhosts, who are our local property managers that we find on Airbnb. They're the expert hosts on Airbnb. They will get 10% for managing all the on-the-ground operations, and then we're left with around 30 to 35% margins after that. So the revenue is coming from the income coming from the rentals. And I can add that we have found a kind of a niche where we cater to group travel. So we're typically leasing homes that are at least minimum 2 bedrooms all the way up to 5 bedrooms, furnishing and designing them so that there's privacy and lots of kind of sleeping options, and people who are coming with a lot of families or couples coming in groups have many options. So we're not competing directly with hotels in that way. We're providing a lot of value to our guests. That also helps in terms of commanding higher revenue, since they're going to get 3 hotel rooms or they're going to stay with us. So they're still willing to pay pretty high amounts.
30% seems to be great margins. And you talked about using Superhosts. So how do you get hold of these Superhosts? Are they part of your company or they work as freelancers for you?
So Superhosts to us are kind of like a similar to coefficient to how Uber has drivers or TaskRabbit has their TaskRabbiters. So what they are is they're independent contractors, and they have now been, since we've been spreading the word and building kind of a massive Superhost network as we scale this business, and we're in 6 cities now, we are advertising to them. They're onboarding very seamlessly on our website. They just come on and we review for a very kind of quick process. We review their online profile to see what other properties they're managing and ensure that they are in fact a Superhost, because Airbnb will put a little badge next to your name if you're a Superhost. And there's pretty strict qualifications. You have to get 80% 5-star reviews for a year. You can't cancel any reservations. So we already know that these are kind of the creme de la creme of the hosts on Airbnb's platform. So we're pretty much leveraging that, and a similar coefficient to Uber. They're very motivated to help evangelize the company, tell other landlords about us, and help us grow. So we use them to vet new properties through a Superhost dashboard that we created, which is proprietary technology. They're able to quickly be assigned a new property once you sign a lease with a landlord. The closest Superhost in that city gets assigned the property. They go vet the property, and assuming all goes well, it's their property to manage. So this is a really kind of key scaling feature for us, and also a way for us to maintain quality control while we're going into different cities. And currently we're the only company that's thought of doing that. You know, most of the other property managers are all running similar to hotel, which is a lot of hiring cleaners and dealing with maintenance. And for us, we're passing that to the local expert. So it's been a huge advantage for us.
How many cities are you there in, and which is the biggest market?
So we're in 6 cities right now. We are going after the really popular high tourism cities. So our biggest market is Miami, and then our second biggest market is San Diego, and they happen to be the top 2 vacation rental markets in the country. But we do plan in the next year, assuming the raise goes well and everything, to also scale internationally. So we're looking at places like Mexico, Cartagena in Colombia, Buenos Aires. South America is, very appealing to us because we think we could get even higher margins there, and the market is not as saturated. So we feel like there's a lot of opportunity. But right now we're focused on saturating our top cities in the US.
What are your customer acquisition channels? How do you get your users on board?
We have a few different ways that we do it. We have landlords coming from word of mouth. They're coming onto the website where we have a rent guarantee tool that they can go on and essentially just put their address in and in real time get a quote from us on what we can offer. And it's around 10% above the market rate for a long-term rental. We've been pushing a lot of landlords through marketing on social media, word of mouth, and incentivizing our current landlords and our Superhosts. So one way is that they come directly inbound through the website. And then a second way for us is what we call inside sales, where we're contacting them on Zillow, homes.com, and those kinds of sites. Essentially, they're looking for tenants, and we are a tenant. We're just a tenant that offers them higher income without the hassle. So we found that we've had very high conversion when we do reach out to them. About 1 in every 6 landlord is going to convert into a customer because our value prop is so high. So we've been working in that kind of capacity as well to get the word out there.
You're planning to raise funds on Republic. So why did you use Republic to raise funds, since you already had a run rate of more than $1 million?
The Republic, really, we were at 500, and one of the founders of Republic, Chuck, became close to my co-founder, Truth. And he was like, you got to get on Republic. And he was kind of skeptical because he thought more crowdfunding is more for like an actual product, like when you think of like Kickstarter. But as he kind of explored it more, we realized that, first of all, offering to be on Meet the Drapers was a great opportunity for us. And we'd already had some talks with the Drapers, so we wanted to support their show and be on the show. And that goes along, the crowdfunding goes along with the show. But also from a marketing standpoint, it's a fantastic way. We're already getting, many of our investors are putting in comments that they're also landlords. So we feel like it's just a great opportunity to kind of spread the word. And we like the democratic nature of crowdfunding, that why should it be that only VCs, who tend to be obviously high net worth individuals, are the ones that get to benefit from, the boom in technology, we feel like it's pretty cool for an average person to be able to invest, $100 or $1,000 and grow their wealth. So we really got into the concept of crowdfunding and getting our network, our friends and family invested in our company. So it was kind of for those and the marketing component. So it was really those two aspects that attracted us to Republic.
On the Republic page, you talked about a landlord's worst nightmare is furnishing a home and then failing to attract guests. So do you also help landlords furnish their homes? Is that another division that you look at?
That's actually a huge value prop for us and really what perks a lot of the landlords' ears, because many of them can't believe that we do it for free. We're a no-free full-service property manager, and we do include furnishing because for us, our landlords are signing long-term leases. They're renewing their leases, so we can still keep our LTV very high. Right now, we're partnering with Feather, which is a startup that does furnishing rentals. So we're able to kind of save a little bit on the front end by renting the furniture, but we also partner with companies like Wayfair where we purchase the furniture. And it allows us to onboard homes that would otherwise be off the market because the landlord doesn't have the resources to furnish, but they don't have the know-how to kind of understand the earning potential of their home. So for us, we'll furnish a home and in 2 months, we've made back the money that we spent furnishing. So the rest of the year is pretty much all profit. So it made sense for us, and we take away the kind of risk and pain points that the landlords had when it came to running a short-term rental and sort of make it work for both parties.
The money you're trying to raise, what are you going to use it for?
Mainly, right now we have a backlog, believe it or not, of landlords that's getting really high, over 50 landlords that we want to onboard, but we need more capital to get them on quickly. And then we have landlords that, want to give us more properties. They may have started with 1 or 2 properties and they have others that they want us to manage for them. So at least 60% of the money from the crowdfunding immediately go to onboarding those homes that are in our backlog and just clearing that quicker so we can sort of move on to other landlords. And then we also need to build out our technology even more. So we have a landlord dashboard where they're able to sign leases and view their properties, but there's even more that we can do. Like we want to add APIs where landlords are responsible for some repairs, when it comes to maintaining their home. And we want it to be that can all be managed very seamlessly on their dashboard. Same with Superhosts. Right now, our Superhost dashboard, it's working, but it's limited and it's going to take more funds to kind of get it to that next level where they can kind of manage all their maintenance and really have a one-stop shop for all their needs when it comes to also, because they help us furnish and prep the homes. That's how we get it done in 72 hours is we have amazing Superhosts and technology working together, but we know that there's a lot of more we can iterate on and kind of expand to make it even more efficient. So it's really the technology and the onboarding are those two places. And then, some of it also for marketing, because we realize that it's better for us to kind of not have to do as much inside sales. And once we get the word out there with good marketing, more landlords will be coming inbound. So those are the 3 areas, but the key ones are onboarding, new homes and scaling our inventory and building out some of the technology.
Can you talk about your current investors? I know you're backed by 500 startups, but who are your other investors?
We have some VCs and some angels. So we have Kinomi Capital and Keystone Capital are the 2 main VCs that invest in us right out of 500. And then we have some higher profile angels like Garrett Cohen and Kirby Winfield. So those are kind of our bigger angels right now. And they're really excited about the crowdfunding. Oh, Kirby was one of the founders of Dwellable. So he's very interested in our business and was kind of evangelizing it to a degree. And and Sean Wang of Keystone Capital as well.
You're the CEO of the company. Can you talk a little bit about the other team members?
I'm the COO and Truth Oladapo, my partner, is the CEO. And he brought on other members so Emil Diaz is our lead engineer and they were friends at Columbia. They went to Columbia Engineering School. So they work really, really well as a team. So right now, in terms of who's managing all of the bookings and customer service, we're actually employing people out of the Philippines so that we can have a 24-hour concierge for our guests and also support for our landlords if they have any questions. So we have a pretty large team working out of the Philippines. We have Vladimir, who's our lead designer and is helping with all the marketing and design. And we have Julie, who does the social media management and also helps out with marketing.
Let's quickly do the top three. What's your favorite business book?
Favorite business book? Definitely. Well, it's not only business, but Ray Dalio's Principles is the be all end all for me. And he talks a lot about, how he built Bridgewater. And I kind of live by a lot of his principles and I listen to that a lot.
If you could go back in time when you started your business, what is the one thing you would have focused on?
Probably would have done more manuals and creating Bibles that, you go back and you're like, why didn't I write that down? Like you're moving at the speed of light and you're not necessarily planning for when you're going to pass along some of your duties to other people. So I feel like you can't write things down too much or be too prepared for kind of that next phase in the business when you move up and you need to delegate. So that was something I learned.
What's your favorite online tool, for example, Slack or Gmail?
I love Slack. I love Telegram. We use Telegram constantly for all our communications. I love the secret chat part, especially, that, expires after a certain amount of time is sometimes like whether it's a password or something that you're trying to share. So I would say Telegram is really big for me. HubSpot is huge. That's how we manage that's our CRM for all of our customers and really beyond all our contact lists. Those are the two biggest ones, but I love Slack also.
What is the best way people can reach out to you if they want to invest into your company?
Well, right now we're encouraging everyone to post their questions in the discussion. That's also kind of a compliance thing that Republic is sort of pushing. But of course, anyone can reach out to me. Email, I'm really, really fast with email. So I'm happy to kind of answer anybody's questions that they might have. And of course, if they're comfortable posting on and kind of putting it on the discussion, because if one person has a question, other people might have it. So it's just kind of nice to kind of get it out there and get the conversation going. I would say those are the two main ways to reach me.
Thank you very much for coming on to the show, Isabel. I really enjoyed the interview. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks for listening to the Life Self-Mastery podcast, where we teach you how to start and grow your online business. For more information, visit Rohit's blog at www.lifeselfmastery.com.